2 plus 2 equals 4. Agree or disagree?
I mean, it depends on what the 2 is. Is it a pregnant mom? Is it 2 pregnant moms? Because that's more. Everything is not as simple.
No, I mean like math.
Just like 2 pencils plus 2 pencils?
The number 2 plus the number 2.
I would say for the most part, yes.
What do you mean for the most part?
Like I said,
What?
there's some variations where, but the thing is, even that is a flawed concept because it's actually, that pencil is billions of atoms that are vibrating. So we've come to call it one pencil, but it's actually however many atoms vibrating on the same frequency to make this appearance, this optical illusion that this is a pencil.
A woke feminist struggles with a basic math question, offering up bizarre responses instead of numbers.
Can I ask you how old you are?
How old are you?
I'm 19. You were arguing with a 19-year-old. I've been homeschooled my whole life. I just got to college.
So you're saying
I'm
that
fresh
you're
off
too
the boat.
stupid to argue with me?
Sure.
Okay.
But continue, please. I am trying my best right now. I want to continue this argument because you're helping me grow and understand what I truly want. So please,
Well,
continue.
I don't see how if you're too stupid to have the argument.
Oh.
That's what she just said, not me. Why you get mad at me? I asked her.
You just called her stupid, bro.
Yeah, sure. You could call me stupid, but please, let's continue.
I didn't call you stupid. You called you stupid.
She never said that.
I never
You
said I'm
that.
too stupid to talk to. You just
What?
you just asked me if
Am I in like Twilight Zone? But here's the question. Are you too stupid to argue
Can we
with?
just-
Answer. Yes. If you tell me, Andrew, I'm too stupid for you to argue with me, why would I keep arguing with you?
He didn't call her stupid, but her reply did all the talking. Self-defeat in a single statement.
Why is there a conception that women don't have rights in Muslim countries, and is there any truth to it?
Well, look, I mean, according to whose conception? According to the feministic conception, absolutely. Yeah. They would not be happy with a lot of the norms and the traditions of the Muslim world. Mm-hmm. But we have to be very specific as to what we're asking about. Like if we're asking about women owning property, then surely in Islam, I mean, women were allowed to own property before they were allowed to in many parts of the West. Mm-hmm. But that was always a thing that women can do. Mm-hmm. On the issue of voting, I mean, we don't have necessarily votes because democracy is a Western concept. Mm-hmm. But we had something called Pledge of Allegiance, and that was both men and women were allowed to do so, for example. On the issue of whether a woman has a say in the marriage, surely she does have a say in the marriage. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there's a verse in the Quran that says that a woman has as much as the man has in terms of rights, except that the man has 1 degree over her.
10 years of marriage, and yet this woke feminist understanding of men is shockingly absent.
So let's say there was a company that employs OnlyFans model, and then they take a cut and they do all the work for you, okay? And they employ male and female OnlyFans models, and they both work 10 hours a day. The female OnlyFans models will earn $1 million a year for the company, and the males will only bring in $100,000 a year for the company. Should they have to pay both of them the same because it's equal work for equal pay? Or should they give more money to who's actually bringing money to the door, the women for the company?
I don't know. I don't have like an opinion on like that kind of stuff. Like,
I think you both know the answer. You're just afraid to say it. That, that
like,
women should be able to earn what they earn and they provide.
Charlie Kirk dismantles a woke feminist equal pay argument with undeniable facts and sharp logic.
You don't understand that this modern world and all this beautiful technology around you that you're sitting in right now, if it weren't for men building that and maintaining that, you would have no illusion of being able to be a strong, independent woman and have all these choices and do what you want.
But why do men do all of that?
They do it because they're benevolent and they are good. Isn't that crazy? They're actually really nice.
But they're getting something out of you.
If men were as bad and misogynistic as you think, they would put us in cages and we'd be, baby farms.
You're a bit of a baby farm. Haven't you popped out 5 children?
Yeah.
You're a baby farm.
Would you like me to go wake up my children and get them down here too so you can tell them that they're like gross little
I don't think it's appropriate.
I mean, take your little snarky little insults and shove them up your ass because you are a useless heifer who has never done anything except
you're a great woman.
Nice.
You're a very
A woman lays down the harsh reality to another woke feminist, shattering delusions with truth.
And women are actually better. In my opinion, I feel like men are only good for making babies and that's it.
How idiotic is it to say that women are better when you check the last 1,000 years of human history? Every major invention has been by men. The light that's lighting this room. Who created electricity? Was it a woman or was it like somebody like Benjamin Franklin? Everything that you appreciate today, if we're talking about cars and the production of cars, the reason you can have a car, mass production, Henry Ford, these are all male names. So you're gonna go off the rails and say women are better than men, where if we didn't have men, we'd be sitting around in a goddamn hut throwing dookie on each other because you guys have not created any major inventions.
If we're talking science, you know, there's different multiverses. What if there's a multiverse where women made everything, where women did everything? And, you know, I'm just saying.
You went to a whole nother dimension to beat me in an argument.
Marquette humbles a brain-dead feminist with just a few pointed words. Simplicity meets ignorance.
I don't think you can be sexist towards men, and I don't think you can be racist towards white people.
How have you arrived at that conclusion?
That's a good I don't know, just hearing like all the stories about like all this messed up stuff they did in the past. Like, I'm not even black, but I have a grudge against them.
Are you referring to slavery?
Yeah, and just like the treatment of them over time since then, like all the discrimination.
Do you think that white people were the only ones who engaged in slavery?
So wait, are you trying to like say that like white people were slaves too?
Yeah, white people were also slaves.
That's where the term slave comes from, is the Slavic region.
Exactly.
That's why Eastern Europeans are so oppressed even within Europe.
I don't know, but I didn't see them oppressed over here that much. Like, I don't know. In history, I don't see books talking about the oppression of white people.
Yeah, that's a problem.
A woke woman learns the hard way that racism isn't selective. History lessons can be quite enlightening.
Women have no clue of what men want because y'all run around with lashes,
you know, I only
fake
ask
hair,
how you like
all
to be
this
treated,
bullshit, and you can ask 100 men and 98 of them will say, I want a natural woman. But for some reason, y'all in competition with each other. Y'all think that natural beauty is ugly. Y'all done got away from being feminine. Y'all not even confident. I FaceTime a woman in the morning, she got her shit to the ceiling because she don't want to let me see her with her natural face. You that embarrassed of yourself? Damn. That's what it is. You're not happy with yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Who are y'all selling yourselves to, the women or the men? Because we the ones that got to marry your ass.
I could care less.
So how about doing what I like? The things that we want are free.
I promise.
They are free. But for some reason, when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? The first thing come out their mouth is something we don't care about, which is your job. Your job. The first thing a woman say, I pay my own bills, I got my own car, I got my own crib. But congratulations, you're an adult.
He exposes the truth about natural beauty preferences, and the woke women can't handle the reality.
Why do you think black women get upset when they see a black man date and or marry a white woman?
Black women, they speak their mind, and we tell you what we're going to accept and what we're not going to accept from you, period. And a white woman is not going to tell you what you should do and what you should not do, and they're not going to put their foot down, and they're not going to tell you, hey, I want you to do this and I want you to do that, and they're not going to speak on that shit. Because you know why? Because they're white.
If you just look at the logical entailment of all the things that you said, he chooses the white woman because the black woman is too hard to handle. Seems like he wants something that's easier to handle.
To sum it all
so
up.
Then my question for you is, why would a black man want to handle any woman? Let's just reverse it real quick. Hypothetically, you've been living together with this man, but let's say you're the breadwinner. But when you went home to him, he was combative and nagging and being annoying to you. Would you like that?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't even choose that. So who's at fault for black men not choosing black women? We would have to say that the black women are at fault because they're not changing their behavior and getting on the black man's program, but the white woman is.
A man tackles interracial dating biases head on, owning the conversation with a black woman.
What positions that doesn't require you to do anything that makes you oppressive?
Like the gender pay gap disparities in America?
There is no gender pay gap.
There is.
When it comes to the gender pay gap or whatever, there's the uncontrolled and then the controlled pay gap. Uncontrolled is basically you're comparing all women who work to all men who work, and you're just doing a straight comparison without factoring in hours work, type of job. When you control for everything, it shrinks to 1 cent. Men make 1 cent more than women. And then this can easily perhaps be explained away. You want a guy to pay for the first date? Yeah. Women, by exerting a social pressure, a mating pressure on men that doesn't exist on you, by your own actions, men are thus more motivated to succeed. They're more motivated to earn money than you guys are because you guys know you're not being assessed. You're not going to be precluded from getting or romantic interest from men because of your money. But plenty of women are going to completely zero men out if they can't pay for the date or provide in some capacity. Women's own mating pressure that you guys on the individual and group level apply on men completely would explain the wage gap.
Debunking the gender pay gap myth, this man educates feminists with well-sourced explanations.
Would you tell me if I got like
really fat or...
You guys are not, you're not built like us. Guys can say shit to each other, and guys are like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I gotta fucking get my shit together. And women are just weak. So you say something, women are fragile. And here's the, they're also, no.
Stupid.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of truth to that. Women are,
oh my God.
Women are weaker and dumber than men.
Weaker and dumb, or emotionally intelligent?
No. Women, in a lot of ways, you could just say women are pathetic. And so when you have to speak honestly, you have to talk to a woman like you would a child. Hey, sugar and a lot of carbs, they actually aren't that good for you. Don't, unless you're going to expend a lot of energy. I think I might get into some tuna. Something like that. Something like that.
I hate you so much.
But it's not your fault. It's really just being a woman.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
A hilarious yet factual explanation of why men are physically stronger. It's biology, not bias.
I was curious about the poster you had that said, I think every culture is not equal. There are superior ones.
Yeah, so I have a big issue with the sort of modern push to say that all cultures are equal and take away any ability to discredit certain cultures or bad things that certain cultures do. It seems like if a culture has a bad, blanketly immoral practice, it kind of just becomes one of those things, it's just their culture. It's like, for me, no, it's their culture, but it's not a good thing that they're doing, right? So some examples of these are like especially things that neglect or ignore the consent of women and children. I would say like bride prices, they commodify women, slavery, not breast ironing in Cameroon and West Africa, human sacrifice, female virginity testing in Africa and Asia, basically super invasive testing to sort of prove that a woman is a virgin before she's married off, which is another one, marrying off women and effectively selling them as if they're a commodity to be bought and sold, forced veiling, so forcing women to veil, forcing women to not speak in public in Afghanistan or to not go to school in Afghanistan. Veiling also happens in Iran, female genital mutilation, and the list goes on and on. All of those things are consentless, and they predominantly affect women and children. And so I would say that any culture that practices those things is inferior to cultures that do not practice those things.
Cultural equality is a myth he dispels effortlessly, teaching a woke woman a lesson in cultural diversity.
You have high standards in men, right? Most men don't qualify for you. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're picky.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Should I not be?
No. That's cool. But you do understand that with you having high standards, that means only a small amount of men qualify for you. Fair? So if a small amount of men qualify for you, who's rarer, you or him?
Yes, I understand.
So do you understand that if he's rarer than you, you know the concept of supply and demand? You went to school for 3 years in Boston, right? So supply is low, demand goes up. The man you want, supply is low, so therefore he could demand certain things, which means more women. And you can't necessarily dictate anything because you want a top tier guy.
A woke feminist is left dumbfounded after a man dismantles her argument with ease.
Hey, this is what you said. You said, what's so special about me? Most women aren't special.
Well, that's down to your personal opinion.
No, I'm like, seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special?
Nothing.
Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
But why is it all about what we can offer? Why is it always about what we can bring?
Okay, because when you're trying to sell a car, if you're trying to get married, right? And please, I'm not saying that women are cars. It's just an analogy. But if you're trying to sell a car, you have to study the buyer and figure out what the buyers want.
Pearl schools an entitled modern woman with a dose of reality about personal responsibility.
So both of you do OnlyFans. How much do you make, Nicolette?
I make a lot.
How much per month?
I think it's like kind of tacky to say like exactly how much money you make.
I mean, it's tacky to be on OnlyFans in the first place. But
shots fired.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That's like bad vibes right there. Like, oh my god.
Disagreement is bad vibes.
An OnlyFans girl gets a taste of her own medicine, roasted during a debate by a sharp-tongued counterpart.
I don't agree with that at all. Okay. Lots of people argue progress. We talk endlessly in the West about racism. Okay, what other great civilizations in the world are better at race relations than we are? In China, one of the most popular commercials on TV was a Chinese girl who was approached by a black man. She pulls him off and shoves him into a washing machine. She puts the product that is being advertised into the washing machine. And what's the payoff? He comes out Chinese. Where is this great world to which we are comparing ourselves to? You cannot compare our civilization to utopia. You have to compare it to reality. And in reality, we are the best civilization in existence today.
Back to that. But are we good enough?
We're never going to be good enough. Are you good enough? Am I good enough as a human being? So why should we expect our civilization to be perfect? If you're comparing us to the land of milk and honey, you are dangerous.
A panelist masterfully handles a heated racism debate, putting a wokie's claims in check.
Most Americans are deeply uncomfortable with minors accessing irreversible medical transition treatment.
Tommy, though, but come on now.
No, it's a very serious issue.
No, it's not that I don't think it's serious. I'm saying when we talk about hyperbole,
What was hyperbole?
Well, what I'm saying is if you look, there is no data that is talking about a whole bunch of minors that are having irreversible therapy.
Well,
as a matter of fact, what I'm saying is that gender affirming care is something bigger than therapy that young people get, right? When they think they're transitioning. It is bigger than that. The fact that men in their 60s and 70s just get to get Viagra, I have all kinds of issues with when so many women can't access abortion. Am I actively doing work?
Well, those are two very different things.
Are they? Ladies?
Yeah.
No. I'm not asking you. Okay.
Can we stick on the gender affirming care issue for just a moment?
Sure.
So I'll just say this. It is an objective fact that thousands, you can look at insurance filings, thousands of minors, teenage natal females, have had double mastectomies. The New York Times reported some of them are as young as 12 or 13. I'm sorry, but Americans will never support a coalition that asserts that as a human right.
Highlighting the dangers of radicalism within the LGBT community, a debate sparks over its impact on public support.
Are you racist?
No, but y'all is.
No, you said you hate cops. Are you racist?
I hate them. All of them.
All right, so
y'all killed my cousin for no reason.
So the reason I ask if you're racist, because the definition of racism is treating a group of people differently by the way they look or what they do. Actually, it's bigotry.
Ooh,
okay. You said you hate cops because you had a bad interaction with a cop or a small group of cops. So for you to hate a group of people by the interactions based on one person, it's irresponsible.
It is?
Yes.
You should take your own advice.
How so?
Y'all, you was just talking about respect, right? Y'all don't respect us at all. At all. Just like he was saying.
That's a bold-faced lie.
No, it's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. Y'all judge us by just looking at us. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do nothing at all.
And you're 100% sure of that?
I'm 100% sure.
When you're 100% sure of something, that's when you're proved wrong.
I'm not proved wrong, baby.
Yes, you are.
We go through it every day, all day.
So throughout my career, you're telling me that every black person or brown person that I came in contact with, I treated them unfairly?
I don't know who you came in contact with, but most of y'all do.
But you just said all. Now you're going back to most.
I don't like none of y'all, to keep it honest. I ain't met not one good cop yet.
So what would you do if a white person came up and said, I don't like any black people?
That's his opinion.
Just like yours.
Yeah.
Just like yours. Would you say that's an irresponsible statement? Because I would.
No. Everybody got their...
An ex-cop counters a wokie's blanket statement about racist police with his first-hand experiences.
Who do you think is going to win?
Hoping for Kamala, but we'll see.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
I have no idea.
Just one policy then.
Okay. Well, I think just that I'm trying to think. Well, she really is for everybody, so yeah, we love that.
We love that. She's for everybody. Thanks so much.
A liberal wokie praises Kamala, but fumbles when asked to detail a single policy, exposing a lack of substance behind the support.
The fact that the DoD has not passed on it is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there.
In my world,
yeah,
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you are not responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? An $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went.
I mean, I'm trying to understand where you're trying to go, other than the dollars, which really bother you.
I think it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all connected.
Okay.
When I see a State Department get a certain amount of money and a military budget be 10 times that, like, that's shocking to me. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's corruption. I'm sorry. And if that blows your mind, I'm not looking to pick a fight with you, but I am surprised at that the reaction to these questions are, you don't know what an audit is, bucko. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay.
Financial mismanagement on a grand scale. Billions lost with no accountability. It's called out as not just incompetence, but corruption.
Meta's new hate speech guidelines permit users to call people in the LGBTQ plus community mentally ill. That is harmful.
Sunny, over 55% of LGBTQ members have screened positive for depression, and 66% of LGBTQ members, again, have anxiety. That's public data. Why would mentioning such a fact be harmful?
Sunny Hostin receives a reality check about the benefits of discussing mental health on social platforms within the LGBT community.
What gender do you think I am?
I would assume you're female.
Yeah, see, you're making assumptions.
Yes.
I identify as non-binary.
I don't, respectfully, that doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Now, let me ask you this. What pronoun should I use?
You should use they, them pronouns. So you saying that you
and
don't
what if I don't?
me,
What if I don't?
If you don't, I would consider that disrespectful, and that's actually an act of violence to misgender trans.
It's an act of violence.
That is an act of violence to intentionally misgender someone, yes.
Here we come to the issue, and this is why I'm out here. You just said that's an act of violence. That means it's an actionable offense. That means it's a crime.
A woke feminist claims misgendering is an act of violence. Stephen Crowder challenges this extreme perspective head on.
You guys call me delusional or whatever. I think I'm maybe not 10, let's not go that far, but like definitely an 8 per. So like whether you guys think I am or not,
Like if I rated myself 1 to 10, I give myself a 5. I think I'm normal looking. And I just think it's based on my results. I think if I was an 8, 9, or 10, I would have had modeling contracts, because people in the top 20% of beauty, they get modeling contracts.
What is beauty?
So what is beauty? You can go online and have people rate your pictures, and they rank you 1 to 10.
That's wild.
And so you can get a lot of data that says how attractive you are in society. And men will rate you, women will rate you, like every day. How we look is like how we represent ourselves. It's not fun, but it's just like being honest. So I don't understand when girls say like, I'm an 8 because, or sometimes I hear girls say 10, because I hear this a lot where they say like, because I love myself and I'm like confident now. But don't you think attractiveness is based on results?
They may be, but I don't care about those results, to be honest.
But do you think then you're not being objective about how attractive you are or how attractive anyone else might be?
I guess not, but yeah. That stuff's not really important to me.
Sure, yeah.
Hurley offers a humble pie to a feminist on a podcast, discussing the real impact of societal expectations.
Anyone, including men, can mother.
No.
And play the role of a
Men,
mother.
father.
Piers, would you...
Women, mother. That's because the titles are male and female titles.
Okay, to mother and to father are not gender specific.
They are gender specific.
No, they're not.
Why are we pretending otherwise?
Skills
of course
to
they're
mother
gender
and to
specific.
father can be acquired.
Are you a woman?
I am a woman, but I'm also capable of the skills it takes to father a child. Similarly, you are a man and you are capable of the skills to mother a child.
Mothers are women. I hate to break it to you.
Okay,
I know we're not allowed to say this anymore, but it's an insult to every damn mother in the country. But some of these blokes who come along and go, I'm mummy. No, you're not.
You are.
You're not. You're daddy.
Piers Morgan dives into gender roles with a person keen on bending societal norms, reality versus perception.
I mean, anyone on the panel who said they're feminists, can you give me one way that men and women aren't equal in today's society?
Isn't there a...
Don't say pay gap. Don't say wage gap.
I was just going to say that, yeah. So go ahead, enlighten me.
So that number that you're quoting is they took the average of all the wages, didn't control any variables for time, education, salary, time spent in the job, what the job is. And then they said, well, women make 73 cents on a dollar, but if you actually adjust for a lot of those variables in some of the more recent studies they've done, they've actually found that the pay gap diminishes virtually to zero, and in a lot of urban areas, women actually tend to outperform men. And frankly, if Brian could hire the two of us and get away with paying me 75%, why wouldn't he do that? And why wouldn't the entire workforce be basically all female? Like, there's this great loophole that corporate America has that you just like get to save 25% on expenses if you hire women.
A based woman reads a woke individual's mind, calling out the absurdity with pinpoint accuracy